Hey travel lovers, welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a visual journey to uncover the hidden gems of Konya. Today we're hunting down legends, miracles, and historical mysteries right in the heart of Anatolia. We're going to explore some breathtaking natural beauties and the incredible stories behind them. So I am super excited to share this with you all. Let's get started.
Okay, let's dive into this. If you hear Konya and immediately picture a never-ending, totally flat steppe, well, get ready to have your mind blown. We're about to completely flip your geographical assumptions. While most people imagine a flat wasteland, the reality is that this region is essentially a giant treasure chest. We're talking massive mountains, mysterious islands, colossal crater lakes, and urban legends that have been passed down for centuries.
Section 1. Mystical Legends of the City Center. Right in the city center, there's this incredible Seljuk-era mosque with a really poignant backstory. The legend goes that a super wealthy guy wanted to build this mosque entirely on his own, no outside donations allowed. He wanted all the spiritual reward for himself, telling his builders not to accept a single dime from anyone. But a poor woman in the neighborhood, a yarn spinner, desperately wanted to contribute. When her money was turned down, she didn't just give up. Nope. In the dead of night, she secretly snuck over and mixed her leftover yarn scraps right into the mortar. And the builders? They used it the next day without having a clue.
So, the mosque gets finished. Our rich guy is feeling pretty proud of himself, right? Until he has a dream. A wise elder appears and basically tells him, hey, the real spiritual reward for this mosque, it didn't go to you. It went to the woman who mixed her yarn into the mortar. Boom! That poor yarn spinner got the ultimate credit. And honestly, that's exactly why this gorgeous building is still known today as the Iplikçe, or yarn spinners, Jimmy. It's just a beautiful piece of urban mystery.
Section 2. Ancient Sill and Tekeli Mountain.
Let's head just 13 kilometers west of the city center, into the rugged outskirts. The very first thing you'll notice dominating the skyline is Tekeli Dağı. Now, Take translates to skullcap, and it gets this awesome name because the ancient Gevherle castle sits perfectly right on its peak, literally crowning it like a cap. But you know, the myths here actually shape the landscape way further back than the castle itself.
This mountain is practically a living, breathing timeline. Back in the Phrygian era, it was completely covered in lush pine forests and dedicated to Kabyle, the goddess of fertility. Why pines? Well, myth has it that Kabyle tragically had her lover, Otis, killed out of jealousy. She was so heartbroken she turned him into a pine tree, declaring it sacred. For centuries, no one dared cut down those pines. Unfortunately, jump ahead to the late Ottoman era, and a mix of mining and fires ended up destroying those beautiful forests.
From the mountain, we step right into the eerie, volcanic terrain of the historic Sil neighborhood. You've got Roman, Byzantine, and Seljuk history layered everywhere, but the absolute showstopper? The Devil's Bridge. It's an old Byzantine water aqueduct that eventually turned into a terrifyingly narrow, dangerous footbridge.
The legend behind this is wild. The story goes that a desperate architect was ordered to build this aqueduct over super rugged terrain, and he was running out of time. Totally panicking, he cries out, "This structure can only be built by the devil." Right on cue, the devil shows up, offers a deal, and the architect takes it to save his own life. The aqueduct gets finished, but the architect is so eaten up by remorse that locals just started calling it the Devil's Bridge. Now, if we look at the actual history, the engineering steps make total sense. Volcanic sill desperately needed fresh water, so the Byzantines built the aqueduct. Over time, though, the terracotta water pipes ruptured. So what did the locals do? They started using this incredibly narrow, super high arch as a bridge to cross the valley. So that's exactly how a functional water aqueduct transformed into a literal daredevil crossing.
Section 3. Nature's Hidden Miracles.
For our final stage, we are heading out to the breathtaking waterscapes of Beyşehir Lake, which is Turkey's largest freshwater lake. Out of its 33 islands, we're zooming in on Kızılisi Island. This wasn't just some random island. It was a lavish summer resort for Seljuk sultans, complete with the stunning Kubadabad Palace ruins. Plus, in the spring, it's a lush paradise hosting 230 different bird species.
But of course, a place this majestic has its own legend. The story says the Sultan's beautiful daughter fell terribly ill. The best doctors in the land rushed in, and miraculously, they cured her. The Sultan was absolutely over the moon. He threw this massive, epic celebration at the island's tower, and a flood of celebratory gifts started pouring in.
But here's where we get a tragic subversion of the story. An old peasant woman brought a simple basket of grapes as a gift. Totally innocent, right? Well, that night, while the princess was sleeping, a small snake hidden inside that basket slithered out and bit her, bringing a deadly end to the princess. It's a heartbreaking myth that gives the island this lingering, sorrowful vibe today.
And this brilliantly illustrates our next stop, how ancient trade history perfectly marries with natural wonder. Meet Abruk Lake in the Karate district. It's a colossal karstic sinkhole lake sitting literally right next to the historic Seljuk Abruk Kervansary. The contrast between the ancient stone architecture and this giant natural crater is just phenomenal.
To really put this into perspective, get this. This sinkhole is 171 meters deep. That is absolutely staggering. And about 145 meters of that is filled with this gorgeous, sweet, blue water. Finding a massive, deep freshwater crater like this sitting right in the middle of a steppe, it's a geographical miracle.
It's fascinating to compare how its role has evolved. Historically, it was absolutely vital. It provided the main freshwater source for all those tired travelers and merchants staying at the caravanserai along the ancient trade routes. But today, it serves a completely different yet equally important purpose as a strictly protected sanctuary for rare birds, especially the ruddy shelduck.
Let's rapidly run through the main takeaways here because you definitely want to remember this. First, it's the largest sinkhole lake in Turkey, spanning 228 meters across. Because of its massive ecological significance, it was officially declared a strictly protected sensitive area in 2019. Those rocky crevices? They are an absolutely essential breeding ground for local wildlife. So it's not just a pretty site, it's a critical natural habitat.
So I think it's safe to say we've totally shattered that flat steppe misconception today. Konya is essentially a giant puzzle of hidden wonders, mythical mountains, and tragic palaces. So what does this mean for you? Which of these forgotten legends will you seek out first on your next trip off the beaten path? Will it be the Yarn Spinner's Mosque, the terrifying Devil's Bridge, or that giant blue sinkhole? The choice is absolutely yours. Thanks for joining this explainer, and I can't wait to see you on our next adventure.